I began my teaching career not exactly how I had planned it. I went to West Virginia University on a women's basketball scholarship, and so my dream was to teach high school science and coach girls basketball. When I got out of college, there were no science jobs, so I ended up in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, standing in a trailer, teaching 19 special needs students on an emergency certification. Like I said, not how I planned it, but it was in that trailer where I really developed my teaching philosophy and also my teaching style, which I've maintained now for 29 years of my teaching career. Within that trailer, I realized that every student matters and that each student has potential to learn, regardless of where their starting point is. That students are interested in nature and science and discovery, and that they have a very strong sense of purpose in their life. They want to make a difference, and they want to have an impact on their world. And so that's kind of the package and how I developed my teaching philosophy and style through the years.
Well, Donna Gradel is the teacher that goes so far above and beyond what is expected from a teacher. It's incredible. She has such talent and intelligence that she could probably do anything she wanted as far as occupations. Yet she's had this dedication to serving students for so many years.
When I talk to these students, whether they are students who simply have the opportunity to sit in her class each day, or students who have worked on these research projects, they all remark about how their own vision of the world has been enlarged, about how they feel like bigger, more informed, better people, just from the opportunity to be exposed to Miss Gradel and to her teaching. And for that, I can't help but think that every student who is fortunate enough to sit in her classroom any day, any year, will be better for the rest of their lives as a result.
Mrs. Gradel is such a unique teacher because of her energy and passion. She approaches each day as if it's her first day of school, as if she's a new teacher, and she sees each student as an individual, trying to meet their needs as well as the needs of everyone in the classroom.
She is honestly kind of intimidating when you don't know her, just because you hear about what she does with Invent Team, and she goes to Africa every summer, and so I really didn't get to know her until my senior year. And I cannot say enough about who she is as a person and as a role model and just as a teacher.
We're facing tremendous challenges today in Oklahoma and throughout the nation in public education. But I'm a firm believer that with great challenges comes great opportunities. Those opportunities for our students to learn and grow and be a part and have an impact on solving relevant real-world problems is a must in the classroom today. As a high school student, I would have never dreamed that I would have an opportunity, and never did have an opportunity, to try to save a living species, be a part of that, or to develop and design a sustainable park, or to play a role in providing clean water for orphans on the other side of the world, or protein for those who are protein deficient on the other side of the world. But my students have all had the opportunity to do that. And it's because where there are great challenges, there's great opportunities.
My favorite thing about her is that she doesn't look as problems in the world as a negative thing. She looks at them as a chance to change the world in a positive way. She looks at them as a true opportunity to be influential in someone else's life, and that has been a really big part of my senior year as I'm looking to the future and what I want to do and who I want to be in the world, and just not looking at challenges in a bad way but in a positive way, and looking at them as an opportunity to grow and make the world a better place.
I think one of the key elements is not just the class time, but also spending time with them out of the classroom, regardless of whether it's going to some activity that they're involved in or participating in something that you sponsor. Those moments that you invest in those students, they reap great rewards in terms of relationships and how those students feel about you and how you interact with them.
Mrs. Gradel is one of the most caring and loving people I know. She's so willing to, you know, just step out of her way to make sure that all of her students are succeeding in whatever that is, whether it be her class alone or just in school in general. I remember she would always reach out to me and, you know, just make sure I'm doing okay. And she'd make personal connections with the students, and that's something that, you know, really just stood out to me.
Mrs. Gradel is one of the most magnificent people I've ever met. She has such a passion for her students and for academics and for their success overall. When I had gotten the honor of U.S. Presidential Scholar, she was the very first person I told. She just told me how incredibly proud she was of me, and I feel like I don't have that relationship with most teachers. And so she's just amazing, and she cares so much on a depth that's greater than, you know, a lesson plan.
One of my philosophies has always been to be real. I am who I am, and in my classroom it's really important, and I've discovered that students really appreciate it when they see a teacher who has the ability to laugh at themselves and enjoy what they're doing, but also has a very serious, passionate, and intense side when it comes to learning and it comes to the details of certain things. But yet through all that process, at the end, we can enjoy and learn together and grow together.
I think one thing that makes Donna so unique among some fantastic peers is that truly the world is her classroom.
One of the things that we're most proud of here at Broken Arrow are two projects that are international projects that we began about 5 years ago. One is titled Aquifer Tharaka. The other one was a collaboration with the Lemelson MIT grant. Both of them were aimed at providing clean water and protein for needy orphans in a remote region of Kenya. The first one, Aquifer Tharaka, students designed, came up with a name, fundraised, and raised the money to have a well drilled to provide clean water for a remote village, school, and medical clinic, as well as spent a year through the class designing aquaponic systems, which eventually a group of my students traveled to Kenya and built at an orphanage. Subsequently, we received a grant from MIT to work on trying to solve another problem, and that was the cost of the fish food.
One of the things that Ms. Gradel did to inspire me was start a project called Invent Team. The first year of Invent Team was my sophomore year of high school, and we worked through a project called Lemelson MIT, which gives out grants to 10 different schools across the nation. So we got to do research to make an invention, but our invention wasn't another gadget or something to help out people in America. It was a new fish food formula for an orphanage in Kenya to bolster a project that Ms. Gradel had already started a couple years back. And the second year of Invent Team, we prepped to go on a trip to Africa the next summer. And I actually got to go on that trip with 3 other students, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
When you think about someone in their profession and having the ability to do well, usually you think about the small circle that they may impact, meaning their own students. And Donna does that, and she does it better than any I've seen. But she also goes outside of that circle to state, and then to country, and then to world. She has opened up the world to her students in ways they never would have experienced without her leadership. And to be able to provide that gift to a student, that's a life changer.
I can think of no better example that I'd want to hold up to a young teacher and say, this is who you can aspire to be, or to a student and say, this is what you can dare to dream, because of the influence of someone like Donna Gradel. She would be a tremendous ambassador, and is a tremendous ambassador for our school and for our city, and would be, I believe, a tremendous ambassador for our entire state.